You happy, Dad? Hello. Hello. Doo-doo. What? What do you Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's this one? No? Look at it. Oh, you just want loves, don't you? You just want loves. Love you. Love you. Good cat. You're a kitty. What are you doing, tiny baby? No. He's on. There's the wolf. So good. You're cute. Ah. Okay. So is there like a reason for that? I mean, you're called gentle and
gentle and cuddle.
gentle and graceful.
Yes.
Gentle and rich. I mean, we can't wait. Right, big cat.